Hello and welcome back to another episode of Fish with Jordan. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're back on the bass topic. So we're going to show you how to take a Gary Yamamoto 5-inch worm, rig it wacky style. So the hook we're using today is number 4 Ultra Point wide gap bass hook, and I use this hook for wacky worm. I know there's special wacky hooks, but I hook up a lot more fish with the wide gap bass hook. So how we're going to do it today is take your hook right here. This is like a Texas rig hook. So we're going to take our worm, and just basically on the worm. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I don't think you will be. I'll try going like this. Okay, well, if I hold it sideways, you might be able to see it. See where right here there's like little marks, little bumps like a worm, and then right here it's all smooth where my fingers are. That's smooth. That's basically the saddle, and then there's little bumps right here for the worm. So right behind this smooth part right here. So we're gonna take right here. I usually hook it 4 or 5 rings behind it. Just poke the hook through, pull it out, and then hold it up. And if it looks like it's balancing basically level, bring the light back over here for you. If that looks basically level, that looks like it's balancing level, then you know you hooked in the right spot. If you hook it too close to one end or the other, you'll see, I'll hook it over here. You'll see that it'll turn out like that. You will still catch fish like this, but it's not as well. It won't present as well, and you'll lose a lot more worms because you're near the edge. But I like to go find the saddle, which is right here near the flat end. Go in 2 or 3 rings, and then just hook it. See, that's basically in the middle. There's no set middle for a wacky worm, but whenever you cast it in, the hook, the weight of, I rig this weightless. I'll just hook this up, and then I'll just fish it straight like this, and it'll sink at a slow rate. Super slow rate. You'll catch fish all year long on this, except for winter. I haven't tried ice fishing it, but bass, this works perfect. One lake that I fish this at the most, and almost every cast you're certain to catch a bass, is Kennebec Lake, or Lake Kennebec. It's actually called Lake Kennebec, but people call it Kennebec Lake. Well, I do, me and my buddies. So what it does is you'll catch this every cast there, almost every cast, if you know where all the holes are, and basically fish the shoreline that looks like it's got points out. If it looks like it's got some trees down, those lily pads, edges of the lily pads, edges of the reeds, anywhere like up near the banks, anywhere looks like there's rocks, every cast you are certain to catch one. In the fall, just a week or 2 before bass season ended, me and my buddy, we were using this style, but we weren't using this color of worm. The bass they change their mind there all the time. Most time, first time I went up there, we were using these, catching bass all the time. Next time I went up, we're using these ones, and we're using black right here. We're using those, using the yellow ones, and we're using the black ones right here. Well, this yellow one's a 5-inch. The black one is, oh, still 5-inch. 4 to 5-inch worms, and then we're using just straight black also, and we're using black with this silver tip. I lost this silver tip off one. That's what we're using. A black one with, see that silver tip right there? That would just cover up the black right there. So it'd be, so there, that's the worm. It was all black right here. Then the silver tip on the end, that was killer. Always majorly killer. But one thing that is good, the bass change their mind there all the time. So you fish it straight to the edge. Whenever you cast it in, it'll turn upside down like this, and it'll sink upside down because it'll use the weight of the hook. Fish will just come up, eat it like this. You tighten your line, and the hook will straighten out, like the hook will be sitting in the mouth like that. This, my hand's like the fish's mouth, and it'll be sitting like this. Then you tighten up your line, and whenever you see a rod tip kind of bend over a bit, just give it a quick snap, and the hook will pop up into the fish's mouth like that, and your worm will just go like this. Slide all the way up the hook onto your line right here, and you'll be fighting the fish with just the hook. Most times, and your worm will stay there, and all you gotta do is just slide down your worm, and then slide it down back onto your hook. Boom, go right back at it. And then, but if you catch a real big one, it'll rip off your hook. But like I said, 2 weeks before bass season ended, I was at my buddy's cottage up in Kennebec, and we're using, oh yeah, and you can get the camel ones, those are good for pike. But 2 weeks before bass season ended, we were up in Kennebec. Yeah, we were up in Kennebec, and I decided to cast out. We weren't using black, we were using like oil colored, pumpkin colored, but they weren't Gary Yamamoto. They were Lunker Hunt, oil colored, motor oil colored, spicy edition, and it was just fluttering down, and all of a sudden the line just, like, whenever it's fluttering down and your line's somewhat kind of tight, you can see your line jump, or if the fish is really aggressive, you'll just take it and start swimming with it. But it was starting to flutter down, and we saw the line jump, so I'd reel down, it pulled up, set the hook, and we netted the fish, and it was a 5-pound largemouth. But that was just, and it was at about 7 o'clock at night, and it's just with one of these wacky style. This will produce big fish, small fish. It'll produce any type of fish. But also one thing that is really good for bass in Kennebec. 1 second, I just gotta get it out. Is nope, I don't have any. But they're just solid white wacky worms. Well, this is wacky style, but they're Lunker Hunt solid white worms, 5-inch. They work good for bass, but like this is your typical wacky rig. Not necessarily with this type of hook. Like I said, this is preference. I use this hook. This is just preference. I've tried both. I hook up more with this, but That's your typical wacky rig or wacky style hookup. This is Fish with Jordan. Thanks for watching. Hope you got advice and good luck.